Hi guys, welcome back to Warson Real Estate. My name is Rehan, I'm the Associate Director here. And as always, what I try to do on my channels is I try to solve the issues that you guys are trying to research on Dubai real estate, living in Dubai, lifestyle in Dubai. And today I want to clarify a doubt which a lot of people seem to have on the internet. I've seen a lot of emails and questions on it. Can anybody own property in Dubai? And of course the answer is yes. And today I will go to an elaboration of how you can do that. Now, even if you're sitting all the way in North America or somewhere in Australia, it's very easy for you to purchase property in Dubai. And moreover, you don't even need to physically be here to do that. Everything is available online, okay? So let me just take a step back and explain to you about the major types of Dubai properties that are transacted on a daily basis. One of them is an off-plan type of property. Obviously, for those of you who are not aware about that, it's properties that hasn't been built yet. So developers all across Dubai structure a payment plan where foreigners, pay attention to this, foreigners can actually buy property in Dubai over a payment plan. Now, in the country where you are, whether you're a resident or a citizen, you are allowed to, of course, get a mortgage, right? So you're allowed to get a mortgage on your first home, and then you have some benefits and stuff like that. But then, of course, bear in mind that because it's a bank involved, you're paying interest over your mortgage. But here in Dubai, what happens is that anybody who's not even a resident here, you don't have to tie up with the banks. The developer offers you a payment plan which is completely interest-free. And that can go on to be anywhere between 3 years all the way to 7-8 years. Okay, so you don't need to be a citizen, you don't need to be a resident, you don't need to be having any kind of visa here. Anybody can buy property in Dubai on an elaborate payment plan. All right. Now, another way that you can actually buy property in Dubai, again, this is very rare. I don't think that it happens anywhere else. You can actually get a mortgage in Dubai even as an international person. Again, you don't have any status here, you're not a resident here, you're not a citizen here. However, you can still apply for a mortgage. Yes, I understand the bank won't be as lenient with you for very obvious reasons. You don't live here. So for us, if we were to take a mortgage here, we would actually have to come up with 20% down payment, and the bank would finance 80%. But for you, if you're not a resident or you're not a citizen, you'll have to at least come up with 40% of the property value, and the bank will finance the 60%. Now, how do they know that if you're eligible for a mortgage or not? So you will have to submit a lot of your important documents from back home that shows your salary certificates, your income papers, your bank statements. If you are a business owner, what are your profits? So all these documents that you send across to the bank, they will do an initial preliminary evaluation, and after that they will give you your mortgage status, like how much you would be approved for. So you have developers that you can go directly to, and you can buy on a payment plan, and the payment plan can be anywhere between 3 to 7 years. You have the bank facility here where you can get a mortgage of up to 40%, and they will give you like whatever you're eligible for according to your papers and everything. So that's two ways. Now, if you were to go on a payment plan, initially, of course, after you do your research and then you come across a property that you like, you would obviously need to be putting a booking amount, because as long as you don't put the booking amount, the property is not secured for your choice. The booking amount you can pay either through a payment link, or you can go directly to the developer's bank account. It can be a bank transfer. You can pay cash if you have somebody here who can pay cash on your behalf, and the unit is selected for you. After that, the payment plan commences, and typically developers take 20% of the total property value for the down payment. That is also available for you to pay in the modes of payment that I had mentioned earlier: payment link, transfer, cash. Okay. Then, of course, you have that one-time registration fee to the Dubai Land Department, otherwise known as DLD, and that is a 4% of the property value. That can also be done online. So see how simple the process is, right? There's no hassle. There's no, bringing money here or you coming physically here. You don't need to do all that. So you need to pay the DLD, which is 4%, and that can be done online as well. In fact, you pay to the developer, who then pays it to the DLD. And then you jump on your payment plan, which is between 3 to 7 years, sometimes 8 years, depends on the developer. Roughly, obviously, like a good payment plan can be anywhere between 5 to 6 years. Like you shouldn't stretch it longer if you don't have to, right? Just get it over with. Typically, the unit gets ready within 2.5 to 3 years. If your payment plan prolongs after that, which a lot of them do, it's called the post-handover payment plan. You can have the rent assist you with that payment. That's for the payment plan. So for the mortgage, obviously there's no payment plan there, but you are getting the bank to finance you 60%, which you have to pay back over the amount that is given to you by the bank. It can be 10 years, 15 years, and so on and so forth. But do bear in mind that there is an interest rate that is involved there for those of you for various reasons who don't want to take interest. Okay, so once you have the title deed, I mean the property sitting where you're sitting, you can actually take full ownership of the property. We are always here to help you either rent out the property, if you want to go into selling it, say for example a year and a half, flip it, as a lot of investors do. We're here to sell that for you, of course at no extra cost. So that's there. So you might be wondering, like, why is it, like, how does it work that international people have so much of options here in the property market in Dubai? Because logically then you'll be comparing the Dubai property market to the place that you're staying, right? So typically speaking, say for example, let's take a random country, let's take Australia for example. So Australia, for you to be able to buy a property there, you'd have to either be a citizen or a resident, right? And then only you can get a mortgage in the bank. So are international people allowed to buy properties in Australia on a bank mortgage? No. But you have to understand what the demand for the Australian property market is only within those who are within Australia, or who have plans to either go there, or they have some sort of a route, or like roots there, or they, you know, for some reason they need to have a property in Australia. But the Dubai property market is open to the whole world. So I have investors who don't even live in Dubai and they have a property here. It's because of the stable economy. It's because of the strong currency. It's because of the way that the property market is trending upwards. The country has nicely planned out a master urban planning for 2050. So everybody knows what's going to be where are going to be the metro line stations. Plus, I mean, it's a fantastic country, right? So a lot of people want to be here, they want to bring their family here, they want to do business here. We've had a huge inflow of traffic over the last couple of years and more to come in the next year. So the demand for the property market here is worldwide. So it's no wonder that the government has made it easy and accessible for people to buy property here in a very seamless manner. So that's the difference between, if you're comparing your property market, whether you're in North America or Asia or Australia or somewhere in Europe, to Dubai, there's a difference in the property real estate model, which is why it's a lot more flexible for you to be able to buy property here. Now, can you buy a property with a couple of you together? Yes, of course. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 5 family members. Even if 5 of your friends, I mean, don't choose any friends, but you know, just friends that you can trust and depend on. A couple of your friends, if you want to buy your property together, you can totally do that. On the ownership, it will be stipulated exactly how many % of each ownership of the friends. You can do that as well. If you want to gift your property as a parent to your child, you're allowed to do that as well at a certain fee, and the fee is like less than 0.5% of the property value. So a lot can also be done. Now, an amazing thing about owning a property here is that, you know what, if you own a property here and you leave it locked and you're not here for any odd reason, like 15 years, and you come back, your property stays exactly the way that you've left it. Rules are strict. Policies implemented are very stringent. Nobody is allowed to go into your property. Nobody goes into your property. Property is left exactly like that. Unlike a lot of horror stories that we hear all over the world, where there's squatters and then squatters have more rights and people are looting things in your apartments, or none of that. None of that happens in Dubai. So you can safely start an investment process in Dubai, it's the best place to start the investment. A lot of capital growth happening here. The ROI ranges anywhere between 6 to 14%, depending on whether you're renting it on a yearly basis or on a short-term or Airbnb model, which works great here in Dubai because of the influx of traffic and all the people, of tourists as well as investors. So yeah, this is pretty much should clarify your doubts. And if you have any more questions that you need answered, please comment below and I'm happy to help you out. All right, take care, stay well.